Hey, welcome, Rodney. Great to see you and great to be here and have a little chat and a conversation. I'm very pleased to say we originally met at BS, which was quite interesting in Newcastle because I'm from Port Stephens. Rodney grew up in this area. We met in Newcastle, but he's living in the Philippines now. And I thought just the synchronicity to that was a bit like, oh my goodness. And he's visiting again. He's back in the country at the moment. So we'll here we'll catch up. And we had such a great chat last time. I thought let's actually record it and we'll see what we can get out of it to share with some other people. So welcome, Rodney. So tell me a little bit about your VA company and your philosophy. I love you have a two-way approach. There's two parts. So please share that a little bit.
Yeah, my original vision, which is still in place, is of course to help our clients get out of their business and to have a life and I'm poster child of doing this, but most of us get into business to have more freedom and more time with their friends and family. And of course, we all just get a job and it's always a much lower paying job than we had before and longer hours. So my vision was to help clients work on their business in their business, and to do that through the use of virtual assistants, or as I like to call them, international teams, implementing all the stuff that the business owner doesn't need to do. And from living in the Philippines for the last 14 years, it's my home now, and I've got a real affinity for the place and the people, and so it's really developed into creating great career opportunities for my Filipinos, because traditionally Filipinos, if they needed to earn any decent money, they had to leave the country. And that's just horrible for society and their communities and their kids. And so enabling them not have to do that has been really fulfilling. And at the same time, as we help our clients, their business grows and they hire more people in country. So it's like win-win-win.
It is. Yeah. And the culture too, there are differences to the Filipino culture, but there are a lot of similarities. I've had virtual assistants in the Philippines as well, and there are a lot of similarities. Can you talk us through that to start with? And then we'll talk about some of the cultural differences.
Yeah, well, similarities, Australians and Filipinos, they're a little bit lighter, able to have a bit of fun, not as serious. But Filipinos are very, very hardworking and loyal, very process driven.
So that routine tasks that all our business owners and late at night or during out of hours, these guys actually love, which is you can say more.
I have interviews with my staff members on page, and I said, "Look, you love about your job. Oh, it's so easy. I get to do the same thing over and over and over." And I'm like,
But and that's one of the parts of business owners. Like, I'm sick of doing my bookkeeping. I'm sick of doing repetitive emails. I've had the same email response. I've been asked the same question 100 times. You can have a VA go, well, if someone asks a question, here's the response. They copy, paste, they tweak it, obviously, you train them. But it to take that burden off and that boredom and overwork. So with the differences, let's look at the differences.
Yeah, hopefully, if you are ever working with Filipino VA, the biggest culture, they're very shy, and being an Asian culture, it's a lot of saving face. And I have this expression, I call it, they thrive on fame and shame. So they love, when they're doing something great, they love to all their friends to know about it, their family to know about it. They say if you're going to give a gift or a bonus or anything like that, give something that they can, not just something personal just for them, something they can take their family out for pizza or something, so they can show off, look what my boss gave me because I'm so great. And on the flip side, they don't ever want to be ashamed, even though they shouldn't be ashamed. A common thing is when you ask, do you understand? You're teaching them something, do you understand? A foreign or a Western person will just come out straight and say, no, I don't. Well, a Filipino is never going to say that. They're always going to say, yes, ma'am, or, no, sir, yes, sir, I understand. But they don't, or they may not. So a better way, because they'll be ashamed of not knowing, like we expect them to know everything with what we do, but they feel that. So I teach my clients, or I recommend my clients, change that around a little bit and put the shame on us by saying something like, did I explain that well enough to you? It gives them the option to go, you're the one. Right? You didn't explain it well enough. So to take the shame off them.
Say, have I given you enough instruction? Is my instruction clear enough? Do you understand? Not do you understand? Is the outcome clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
I like no point following on from that. Often, if you give them some instructions and then it comes back. I had an example of a couple of months ago. Is I gave them like a 7-step process, and the task didn't get done properly. It didn't quite get complete, and I was a bit upset at first. And I went back and looked at the 7 steps. It really should have been an 8-step process, but I didn't put in that last thing that they didn't do. I didn't put it there. I assumed, common sense kind of says you should, follow up at the end, but I didn't write it in there, so we couldn't get that. So be clear and concise with your instructions.
And we all have it. We all have worked with other people in our business. We've had staff. We've been a staff member. We've been in community groups, networking groups. But people ask for things and they get it. That's saying be careful what you ask for, because you will get exactly what you ask for. It's so true. So, but we were also talking about AI and the efficiencies and the technology improvements. How much I've noticed people have said to me they've started using and playing with AI and ChatGPT, how much their communication skills have actually improved. Because if you put something in ChatGPT and it doesn't understand, you have to go through a series of re-entering more data. You have to prime it. You have to feed it for it to understand and spit out a reasonable response. So
that's like you.
Just like you. So that would be a tip, there's other, ChatGPT, there's been with Copilot, Microsoft. There's various ones out there. Obviously, be careful of intellectual property or sensitive data. But if you're giving generic instructions, you can put it through the ChatGPT or that understand. If it doesn't, you're probably not being clear enough that your staff member, be it in Australia, be it in the Philippines, may not understand it. So do you agree?
Yes, so even writing processes that might be in your head, in the past I've always said, use the mind map, put it on paper, make a video, document everything you're doing. So now you can use the AI and it'll come back with a process. And then of course it's not the exact process that you do, but it gives you 50, 60, 70% there. And then you can tweak that out and customize it, then give that to your VA and bingo, and they will follow it. They're fantastic at following processes and implementing it.
Yeah. And look, I've been a qualified trainer for 19 years, and it's that old system when you're teaching, you need to show it at full speed, then break it down, and then show it again at slower speed, and then give it to them to have a go, who you're teaching, and watch them and give them feedback, and then eventually you want them to do it at full speed. So there's actually anywhere from 5 to 7 steps in training process where we think, hey, here you go, good luck.
Yes.
We're humans, it doesn't work like that.
That's why I love video training rather than real-time training, because they don't understand 100% and they just tell you they do. They do it. Whereas the video, they can go back and slow it down and stop it and pause it and think about it and act on it.
Exactly. And there's so many tools now. There's Loom, there's Zoom, there's all sorts that you can do your screen record, and you can hand it over to yourself. Say, hey, right, Can you write the process?
Yeah, my top one, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, hit the red button.
Yeah.
That's all.
Hey, have a play, like, pretend you're a kid again. Kids, they deal with technology because they're not scared to have a go. Oh, what's that do? And then work it out from there. So, yeah, sometimes we have to remember as adults to have a go. Other than that, is there any, the other part I loved when we first met was you have two types of VAs. You mentioned that they have a very different skill set, and there are other virtual assistant companies out there that may focus on say marketing, or they may be a particular niche to an industry, but you focus on two areas. You find that
Because actually, a lot of VA companies and VA say, we'll do it all. Because small businesses, they have to get it all done. And they hire a VA, and if you don't mind, if you can do my bookkeeping, and when you finish with that, I need this video to be edited. It's like, no, that's not the same person. And the guy tweaking your website is typically not going to be the girl that you want answering the phone and talking to your customers. It's different. So we have a model is we put the left and right brain people together in the office, sitting at the same desk. And they split the time that, if you need 8 hours a day, they'll split that time amongst them. So you can get both skill sets working together. And then we do cross-train a little bit, just in case you lose one, the other person can, keep it together while we're training the replacement so you've still got a person. In our company, we have a couple of trainers also that are involved. And of course, your systems that are already going to be in place. So that makes it easier that everything doesn't collapse if and when you lose a person.
Yeah, which is great. And that brings me to the point, and I can't remember who said this, I'll have to look it up. But they always say blame the process, not the person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to me, the fact that your company is helping create those processes and tweak those processes, it's every business needs it, not just people.
And it's only good for morale when something gets screwed up. If you're going to yell at your person, they're just going to get demotivated. Whereas if you yell at yourself because you created the process that wasn't quite correct, they have a lot more respect for you, and they're like, okay, I did my job. It's my boss that screwed it up, right? It explodes there, and then they're willing, when you do fix the process, they're really willing to jump in and help and get it sorted.
Absolutely. And show we're human as well. I liken it to, have you ever tried to make one of your grandparents' recipes, like an old family heirloom recipe, and they probably didn't even have it written down. And so they write out, grandma, for example, writes out this is what you do, but you make it and it's never the same. You actually have to be there watching and go, oh, well, that pinch of salt's actually a tablespoon. Like to be there and see it. So, just a thought on that. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to add to the conversation about VAs? How can, if businesses aren't sure if a VA is for them, how can they investigate it further? How can they look into it? How can they work out? The biggest question I find is, well, what can I outsource? Well, what can't you?
Sure. Yeah, I have a list of 101 things they can do, and I had to cut that short at 100. If they can do so much, but that's a common question. People, I don't have enough for them to do. So we actually solve that by offer. You can get started on a part-time basis because many people think they don't have enough to do, so we start them slow, and in 2 or 3 months, they're already, building up to something they realize they do have enough to. And oh my God, my life back! It's fantastic.
Teaching how to delegate, not abdicate. And once people learn to delegate, and they go, "Wow, I got done. What else do I do?
Yeah.
What else? Like when they start getting through, I differentiate myself and others. Yeah.
But I think have a try. Have a conversation. Our process at Global Officer, because we don't hard sell. We're happy to talk you through weeks or months while you're getting organised to see if it's right for you. Because the last thing anybody wants is, oh yeah, come on board tomorrow and then fail. and 2 months later it's all failed and it's lose, 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 everybody loses. So no point in that. So talk it through, and we actually help you on board before you even onboard the VA to make sure you've got your systems and your tasks. And, you don't have to have, 20 tasks ready, but you have to have the first few and the first few systems and processes down. And then while they're working on those initial tasks, you can be building the rest. And between, when I say building the rest, I'm just really thinking what you need them to do, because between your VA and AI, they're the ones going to be documenting all your systems anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you. So it's been great to sit down and talk with the founder, because it's not every day you get to do that. So how many staff would you have now at VA-wise?
And we have 35 staff.
Yeah, great,
Yeah.
great.
And, so, they're all working for different, some of our larger clients. Once you get, 2 or 3 full time, you have your redundancies and your opposite skill sets.
Yeah.
But when you're just small and you start 4 to 8 hours a day, that's when we put the two things together. So, and that actually helps a bit too, because your part-time person will be working with another company, but you can say, well, what are they doing? And as long as we don't ever put two together that compete against each other, they want to be different industries. And like, what are they doing? What really works for me? Can you do that? They're already trained and experienced.
Exactly. You've got that cross-skilling, that extra. They're not just insulated in their own organisation, which gives them, and they're talking to other virtual assistants as well. So if they get stuck, they can be saying, hey, my the owner wants this. Who knows how to do that?
Yeah.
And so it sort of gives you that extra pool of staff, particularly for small business, that when it is just 1 or 2 people,
and
you don't have
50
that.
different skill sets, and one person can't do it all.
Yes.
Unless you're an entrepreneur, then you have to do it all badly.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And look, I love that you have that balanced approach, and I'm all about work-life harmony and getting your finances in order, for example, for a business is just as important as having the processes and everything working customer service. But they're 2 very different sides of the business.
Definitely.
So to have both of those in one organisation is excellent. And to not be in an organisation that has hundreds or thousands of virtual assistants that you get lost and, you're a number, not a, in your...
All the companies have a flexibility. Yeah. And it's not in your regular program.
Yeah. So it's excellent. Well, thank you. So appreciate you catching up. It's nice to see you. And if you've got any questions, of course, let either of us know, and we can see what we can come up with. Because honestly, when you start learning how to delegate and you do it effectively and successfully, and your staff are enjoying what you're sending them, it just takes off. You'll wonder how you did without it. And yes, I'll leave it at that.
And then you can take off.
Yes. And actually, that's a really good point. When I write business plans for companies and businesses, I always add in there's this extra section of how is the business going to run without you? When are you taking holidays? Are you taking 4, 6, 8 weeks off a year? Will the business still make income and survive without you? If it doesn't, that's the problem.
And it has no value.
You can't sell
it.
No. And you just close the doors and walk away. And so many small businesses are wanting to, they treat it like it's their retirement, like their super. They plan that at the end they'll sell it and they'll get this money and they'll get it back. And in Australia, unfortunately, there's a habit that people are not putting superannuation away when they're business owners, like sole traders. And it's coming from finance. I think so many walk away with very little. It's contractors even, and it's really sad where if they spent just that little bit of time documented their process, had even just one part-time staff member that could step in and they could be away for 2, 3, 4 weeks and have the phones answered, have the emails answered. If there's an issue, escalate it to the manager, sure. Eventually gets to the stage that even someone's there to handle the escalation.
Yep.
So, anything else you'd like to add before you finish?
No, let's do it.
You don't know. And you know what? Sometimes different staff and personalities. You know, it might be that one person doesn't work out. It could be a personality or a skill or one company. There's so much. Don't give up. Give it a go. Thank you.